Hey guys, we are finally back. I know it's been so long since I've been here, and I'll try and explain as I work here. But hi, I hope you're all doing great. I have had time to sit down today and work in here. And it's not like I haven't had time, but I have been focusing on glass beads, and I'll tell you all that. But anyways, I have two pieces of pearl clay, okay, and a whole bunch of mica powder in different colors. Now, I don't know if you remember a long time ago we made a mother of pearl. Okay. This wasn't going to be mother of pearl, but anyways, this is kind of my scraps from me playing around yesterday with this. And so that's kind of basically what we're going to do, but I'm trying to make earrings without using cutters. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint my pearl clay. So as we're painting, I can fill you in on my life if you're interested. For those that checked up on me, thank you so much. Everything's okay. It's just been crazy. Okay, so there's no color coordination here, so I'm not putting certain colors down first. I'm just laying down any colors. I went for the dark on the outside though. And I don't know why, there wasn't a reason, but and then I'm going to do purple on this side since it's dark. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on the second one, because we're going to roll these up a little differently. One's going to be rolled up from the bottom, one's going to be kind of made into a fan fold. And I'll show you why. But anyways, I don't even remember when the last video was made. I know it was before the 4th of July. And I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. Ours was pretty good, I guess. Very quiet. My second born, he stayed home, and his wife went to Oklahoma and took all the kids. He picked up as much overtime as he could while they were gone. He couldn't get the time off. So he stayed home and took care of the animals and let her go with the kids. So it was the first year in a long time that we have not had a gathering here on the 4th of July. So we kind of hung out. And then my son, my oldest, him and his girlfriend came over. And we had a little barbecue, hung out by the pool a little bit. And then we went to the park and enjoyed the festivities. So my son has a scooter, an electric scooter, so does his girlfriend. So they brought those down, and then me and my husband have an electric bike. Or not an electric. Well, it's an electric, but it's like an assist bike. So, you know, as you pedal, if you're going up a hill and you need that little extra push, you know, you just hit the throttle and it goes. They're so cool. But it was actually really nice because there were so many people at the park. They had sold out. And it's only about maybe, I don't know, I'm going to say 3 miles at the most from us. So we kind of took the dirt roads in the back to get there. We didn't have to worry about traffic or anything like that. So that made it really, really nice. So we enjoyed that for about 20 minutes. And I hated to leave Jake at home because he's got problems with fireworks. And he was up pretty late that night. He was pretty shaky. But he started getting better. Not so much shaking, just kind of hiding. So I'm hoping next year he'll realize that he's safe and all that stuff. And then my kids stayed till about 11 or about 11 something. And then they headed to go home. And not that long after they left, there was an accident on our corner. So, one, I'm very thankful to God that he left when he did, because he could have been that person that got hit. So, you know, we live on a corner, and I've told you about all the accidents that always happen over there. And this happened a little farther down. God, what color do I want to put in here? I could put the same, right? Got a dark purple, green. I don't know, I'm thinking another green might be nice, unless I can find something else. There's a white. I had a citrine. Oh, look at that. I did have a citrine here. So I'm going to add a little bit of citrine on this yellow. This one looks a little more bright. And with mica powder, remember, once you coat it, you're not going to get any more to stick on it. It's done. So, don't coat it and coat it and coat it, because when you lift it up, it's all going to fall off anyways. But I do put a little bit of extra always. I don't know why, but I do. I don't think I have an orange, so I might end up putting just another green down. Or I can put a silver, but... Oh, here we go. Here's an orange. Let's try the orange. Why not? I bought a whole set a long time ago, and I barely use this stuff. But out of all of them, I love the Pearl X. I just bought some Let's Resin mica powder, and I have to return it. It was on sale on an Amazon Prime. And it's like a very fine glitter. And so I've got to return those. But the Pearl X brand never disappoints. Okay, so now, yes, I'm adding just a little bit. Come in here and add a little bit more blue. Fill in these spots right here. Okay, but anyways, so yeah, the guy was going the opposite direction, and I don't know if he was drunk. I think that's what they're assuming, is that he was. And he crossed the middle divider and went head on into some guy that was just coming home from Jack in the Box, because he had the late night munchies, right? So I didn't hear the crash. When it's right here behind my house, I hear it. And this wasn't right behind my house, but just maybe 30 feet. And I did not hear it. So I don't know what I did, but I didn't hear it. And I guess I'm glad that I didn't, because I'm always first on scene whenever there's an accident here. And I always go into the cars to make sure they're okay. And it was my neighbor that was first on scene, and she was trying to calm the one guy down. A regular car, right? You got your hood of your car. Well, the hood of the car was gone. I mean, it literally crushed in and on his legs, so he was stuck. He had to be extricated. But she said the other guy must have hit his head, I don't know, on the windshield or whatever, but there was glass everywhere in his body, and he was gone right on impact. So I'm really glad that I didn't see that. But it still kind of bothered me for a few days afterwards, and they closed down the road. So I was out there until about 3 in the morning, back and forth. I was bringing the officers, because there was about 6 officers out there, sheriffs, 1 CHP, that was left because they had to shut down the road. And unfortunately, they can't open it until after the coroner comes on scene to take the body. So for a highway behind our house that is just so busy with cars, to not hear anything. Whoa, what is that? Oh, it folded up on itself. Don't want to do that. It was just weird. It was literally just weird. It was so eerie, not only because of what happened and they had it shut down, but the fact that there's somebody deceased in the vehicle, and he was in there for almost 12 hours until the coroner showed up. So again, that took me out a few days, and I guess it was more of the thought that it could have been my kid that was in there. And yeah, I'm an empath. I take things internally like that. That's why I could never go back to work in the emergency room, because I take a lot of that stuff home. So that's that. And then my brother has been having problems with his girlfriend, and this is the one that I moved out a year ago, August. And so he's been back and forth staying with me for a couple days and then heading back home, and so I can't make videos when I got people here, as you already know. I'm gonna have to get over that fear and not worry about it and just do it, but as of right now, I haven't been able to do it. Okay, so we've got this all nice. And this is going to be number 1, right? And I'll show you what this looks like. It's so pretty. And we're just getting it nice and even, and then I'll take it out and show you. I have my pasta maker guards that I've made on this time, so I can keep this at a certain width. Alright, so I think that might be all we need to do. Nope, because now one side just went higher. I hate when that happens. Okay. So anyways, this is our one piece. Okay. And then we just got the other one to do. So on this one, I have to remember how I want to fold this, okay? So if I want to make a bullseye, I think I need to come this way, right? I'm always worried that I am going to fold it wrong. And then on this one, I'm going to go straight down like that. Okay. And I'm going to put the blue in the center. Okay, so this one is a regular bullseye. And I'm hoping that all the mica powder laid out, because that is what's going to make or break this. This is not my technique. This is just a technique that's been around a while, but definitely not mine as far as rolling it and cutting it the way I'm going to cut it. Because we're going to make this like a seashell or snail or whatever. Kind of like what Donna Cato's done in the past. But that was just gold. She just used gold clay and manipulated it so that you got both sides of the gold, so that you could have one dark side, one light side. So this is a little different in that aspect, that I'm using pearl and a bunch of different color mica powder. Okay, so that's one. So on this one, excuse me, we're going to do the same. I'm going to go thicker with our lines. And as usual, you don't have to be perfect. As you can see, I never am. But yeah, so basically that's my life. Oh, okay, well, why haven't I been on clay? Because, as you know, I've been selling a lot of glass rods. And I've been making glass beads again. And I'm finding that my glass beads are literally selling. I've got a customer that bought something twice already from me. And I looked back at her history to find out last time she bought was 2020. And that's when I shut down my Etsy store. Everything expired. And I just didn't list it because I was getting into clay at that point. And it's like she waited for me. And I was so jazzed about that. And she came back, bought quite a few pairs. So instead of being on clay and selling glass, I'm making more money selling the beads than the glass rods themselves. So the only thing that I really got rid of was some really expensive glass. And all this, as you know, is for my teeth. And that's been a pain in the butt. So you remember my dentist broke my tooth, taking a crown off last December, I believe, or November. But anyways, I had enough insurance money to cover the implant. Because he said we can't save it. Let's just pull it and put an implant in there. Okay. So, said I had enough money. There was like, I don't know, 3,000 something in there. But I didn't know this. So they got the approval. And they pulled the tooth and all that. But then after they do the bone graft, you have to, this one waits, okay? There's a lot of oral surgeons that will do a bone graft the day that he pulls out the tooth and puts an implant in and lets it all fuse together. Well, not this guy. This guy likes to wait and wait and wait. So I had that done in December. January, February, March, April. No, I had it done in January, the bone graft, okay? And the pulling of the tooth. March, April. It's still... So, I should have the implant in by now, but I don't. I'm still waiting on that damn thing. So, I go in on the 31st of this month, and I will get that done. But, because the insurance company wants to see the work that was done, they want an x-ray and the implant in place. Well, hello, the implant isn't in place because you got to wait 4 months for that to happen. So needless to say, this tooth is costing me $3,100. And because it all wasn't done last year, they took the $3,100 out of the money for this year. And you only can replenish it every 2 years. So basically, they're only giving me $1,000 for the full implants that I'm doing on the bottom. So there went all my money to help pay for my teeth, basically. So now I'm back to, instead of having to come up with that $18,000, now I have to come up with the full $22,000. Because they're not going to cover it. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe that's God's way of telling me don't get them. But I got to get them done. But now it doesn't matter. I'm not in a hurry because, you know, before I was trying to get this all done before my husband retires in 7 months. So that we have the insurance. But if they're not going to cover it, guess what? It doesn't matter, does it? So I've kind of slowed down on selling the glass rods. And now I'm just selling glass beads. But a lot of you have been wondering where I've been. and I get it. I'm here. I'm just trying to, I don't know, guys. I'm just trying to, like all of us, we're just trying to survive. And then I have a husband who's buying everything. I mean, you know, he sold the trailer, and then he sold the other trailer, right? Then he sold both of his trucks, and now he bought a Jeep, and he's decking it out for camping, and just the amount of money he's spending is crazy, you know, and has not once made the offer, hey, you know, do you need help? I know what the insurance company just did to you, you know, let me cover that or something. Nothing, just nothing. So it's like, I didn't think he would, because money is like the most important thing to him. So I'm kind of, I don't know if I can say it online, but oh well, shit out of luck. But it's going to happen. I know it is. I'm not really worried about it. As you can see, I'm not all stressed out. It's just, it is what it is. We just deal with life as it comes. Okay, this has got a lot on it, so it might not be the best thing. And the reason I'm folding it up is to kind of minimize how much mica powder gets on my pasta machine. Alright, so that first one never sticks because it's mica powder on mica powder. And then once you get it in the second time, it'll start to stick. Okay. And now you just basically, same thing, run it through. I'm running it through at a number 3. Sometimes I'll go to a 5. It just seems to push it through a lot faster. But I'm going to leave it at a number 3. Oh, and yeah, you know, it's like noon and Jake is still in bed. He had a surgery. I think you guys knew that. Stitches came out. He's doing pretty well. He gets tired on the walks a lot faster. So I think it probably hurts him because it's still bare. You know, there was a tumor there. He's missing a toe. So it's kind of like a raw part of his paw. So honestly, I don't know if he'll grow hair on that area or not. Because it never had hair on it before, I don't think. I don't know, you know. So I'm hoping that it builds a callus or something so that, you know what, it's easier for him to walk. But he would not get out of bed this morning. He's still in there. He's just being lazy. So I may have to go get him in a minute just to get him out of bed. Get him to eat, whatever. He has days like that. Okay, so now I put this on a number 5. And now I'm going to go back to a 3. I'll show you the colors in this one. Look how sparkly. Okay, so on this one, again, we're going to do this. Oh, I may have kind of put a little bit too much right there. We're going to take that down at a number 3 as well. This one, we're going to make a fan fold. Okay, I don't like that. I'm going to stick that right there. I'm going to run it through. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. This one, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Which side is which, because they're both going to be on the end. The hardest part is figuring out how I did this before. Yes, I actually worked on this last night to get an idea of what I wanted to do. And I want all these on top, right? So I don't want, yeah, this is the worst part. So I'm going to do this with you guys so that if you make this, you know what I'm doing. I'm going to bring it down this way. Okay, because I want that, I want all the colors on the top. So basically we're just going to be cutting pieces here. All right, I know what I'm doing. Okay. And I don't want, this is just going to be making beads out of this piece. So I don't want it that big. Okay. So that again would be the top and the bottom. And I want to make at least, I don't know, maybe 6 beads. So whatever size that ends up being is what I'm going to go with. And obviously, I need these to be somewhat the same size. And I'm just looking for my little thingamajiggers here. Okay. All right, so this is just under an inch. So I want that side to be that too. And it looks like it kind of already is. Doesn't feel like it, but... So if I do an inch, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, so I got 4 of them. But an inch seems, an inch seems really, really big. Okay, well this is going to be, I know, I'm really confusing you guys now. I'm going to roll this because I'm trying to make a plug. Okay, well, there's 5. So let's just go one more. Go to 6 inches. I'm just afraid that I'm messing with the mica powder. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, I think the dog is trying to get out of bed. I'll be right back. Okay, he finally decided to come out of the house, or come out of the bed. Now he's just sitting there, so I left the door open for him to go potty, but he hasn't gone yet. Okay, so this is what I wanted. Hopefully they're all going to be the right size. They look pretty close, right? This one might be a little big. Yeah, this one's a little big, but that's okay. It's okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the corners off. I'm sure you're familiar with this. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do really quick though? I am going to put a lid on these. Because knowing me, I will end up spilling this at some time today. And I don't want mica powder all over the place. Oops, I used the wrong lid. Oh well. Okay. Oop, no, that's the purple. The pink. And this is supposed to be silver, and I think I took the silver, I did, and used it for the green. Alright. Look at that. I cleaned up my mess as I go. Okay, so you know this part. If you've seen other videos like this, you know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just taking little strips off the corner. And then we're going to have a square. Okay. And then the leftover of this stuff, you can make a really nice veneer out of it. So don't throw those away. Colors are so pretty. I love pastels. I don't know why. They're just very calming. You know, you could even use these, wrap a core, and just wrap them around a bead just like that as well. If you didn't want to make a veneer. You could just have some really pretty pastel rainbows. Okay. So on my Facebook page, I put up a video. The astronauts that came from the space station, they splashed down in Long Beach, which is about an hour from here. Maybe not that far. So I got outside at about 2:30 in the morning and literally watched them come in. It's pretty cool. Kind of like the Starlink, you know, you got this big flash, but this time the flash has 4 people inside of it. So it was really cool to see that. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so now all we're going to do is we're going to twist. Okay, now if you're going to make your snail, you're going to do the exact same thing as I'm doing now. But this is all that I wanted to do, was make these into beads. I think these would be adorable earrings. You know, and I like my earrings on the smaller side, so you don't have to cut them as small as I did. But I like smaller earrings. Just close up that end. Okay, and as you can see, it's not smooth, so you got that raised texture on it. Okay, now sanding this might be a little tough because of that texture. But I can make a couple where I just literally do that and get rid of the texture. And you can roll it as well. But I don't know, there's just something about the texture that was pretty cool. Now, the worst part though is making these match in size. I don't know if I'm going to put the hole in afterwards and try and attach a jump ring or an eye pin in it or eye screw. That I don't know yet. Okay, so that one's a little shorter than the other, but that's okay because one of these has got to match up to those, right? But if I make these untextured and buff them, oh, these would be so shiny and pretty. So what do we got? So I'll make one set that's flat. I don't know how I keep getting a little mark in there. That's not going to be easy to sand out. Okay. Okay, so these look like they match. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can. For some reason my camera's locked, so let me come back. Alright, sorry about that. Okay, so there's two. Okay, so that's with the texture. So we're going to make one more of those with the texture. So I'm just going to do this one. This one's short and stubby. Try and keep my nails out of it. Now you could even slide like a metal mandrel and go straight through and form it on that, and that way you'll have a hole all the way through. And here we're heading into the fall and I'm making pastel colors. So this has got a little bit more of a fat center. That one's a little pointier. Alright, it's about as close as I'm going to get those. So on this one, I'm going to do the same. But this one we're going to just keep rolling it. This takes a little longer, as you can see. So I don't want this so thin. So we're just going to squish it down. These are going to be more like a bicone shape. Well, they're all bicone, but okay, so this is flatter now. That's going to be really easy to sand. And this one was a little bigger, so we might have to cut this one down a little bit. They both look pretty cool. I do like the textured ones though. And this is why I always have short nails. So I'm gonna have to cut those down tonight. I cannot work with long nails. I just keep sticking them into my piece here. Okay, so as you can see, this is just a little too big. Which I kind of knew from the get-go. Okay, so this is better. One might be a little, still a little thicker. So you can make your lines tighter as well. Okay, so that's perfect. If I can get this side to match up. That's where I'm having a little issue here. So the texture ones, I'll tell you, are a little bit easier. Well, maybe instead of working on that, maybe I should just work on this one and pull it out a little bit. Alright, well, That's gonna be good enough. Oop. This one's more of a barrel shape than a bicone, so there we go. It's a little better. Alright, that's the best that one's going to get. Okay, so I'm going to throw these in the oven, and then we'll take out our other veneer, or the other cane that we made, and we'll be right back. Alrighty guys, so the other one is in the oven. So let's do our little snail. I don't know what we're going to do with this, so I may not make anything with it today. Or I may. I don't know yet. I'll probably use the pearl clay as the base. I was going to put all this on the bottom, but I think with the pearl would be pretty cool too. Okay. So you can see all the different colors. And I don't know why my brightness keeps going down a little bit. Okay. So again, we're going to do the same thing. So I like the way I did the other one. I like the colors from here going down to a different color, then I'm all being mixed up. Because the blue, as you can see, is kind of hidden in the middle. So we're not going to see much of it. The other way, you're able to see all the colors. So I think what I'm going to do though, is I'm going to cut it in half. Because I don't want my snails really big. Because I don't make anything huge. But I want to make sure that it gets twisted really good. Okay. And yeah, I do it a lot thinner than other people. This is so pretty. These would make nice hoop earrings for the spring. Okay, these are a lot bigger than I wanted them. As far as the width. Okay, so now we just need to pull some. I need to charge up a little bit or I'm going to lose power right in the middle of this. There we go. And I don't know why it keeps getting unbright on me here. And on this one, we're just going to do some pearl clay on a number 3. Because these are going to be regular cutout earrings, probably. Boy, did you guys hear that the Creative Wholesale or Sculpey Products is going out of business? I'm so upset. I love getting clay from them. I never got any clay that was ever hard. And it was only $2 for a 2-ounce thing of Sculpey Primo. Now I know there's blueberry beads, which I've ordered from a couple times when I was buying the Kato. So maybe it'll work out with shipping. Because shipping was a little bit on Creative Wholesale. So I'm hoping that'll make a big difference. I got more transfer sheets that came in the mail today. So I gotta go get those shortly and play with those. See, now to me, I mean, just using these colors would be so cool. You know, you can make like a mosaic design. Just cut these in little squares and set them everywhere. That would be pretty cool. But let's see what it looks like. I like to do it like this, but it's not wide enough. But the problem is if you make it really wide, you're going to end up wasting a whole lot in the middle. Oh, I like that. That one turned out pretty cool. A little too thin. I guess I can set that somewhere on the edge. See, so you can see where it starts hitting the blue. And the blue has really no design to it. So much different than that top part. Okay, I'm just going to keep adding it. I don't know if I want to cover all of the pearl or if I want to leave some showing. But I kind of like that for the top. Chewing up the bottom here. Okay, so this is kind of like that center. It kind of depends if you want the pearl to show or not. See, I'm not real happy with that. So let me flatten it here. That's a pretty piece right there. See, I don't have a problem with having a little bit of pearl showing through. But I wish I would have had that on top. I really like that piece right there. I just love that piece. I like this top. Alright, I think I'm just going to concentrate it in one area. Yeah, because you just start losing some of that shape. I don't care at this point. I'm not that picky. Let me get some. Oh. I put it through the pasta machine, but I'm going to go the thickest setting. I don't want to stretch it, I just want to even it. So I'm going from the thickest setting, and I just finished it at a number 2. Okay, so this is a little extra. Okay, but there's your veneer. Not really perfect. I'm gonna have to make it a little thicker, but it's still pretty mother of pearly, right? It's just that little area right there. All right, maybe I'll go one more. I'll go to a number 3. want to go any farther than that. So there we go. So basically, you can use it all for a surface. Take a little surfboard and make earrings just like that. You can add a little bit of a backing to it, and you can make this into a nice, you know what I mean, a collar necklace. Or you can cut it in half, right? I'm going to do that right here on the end. Okay. And you can take some clay, a pearl. Oh, I didn't really need to do that. And you could either come off a corner, or you can literally go halfway down. And I can't see that far, so I don't know if I made it halfway down or not. I'll worry about that one in a minute. And the backing I put at a number 6, just a really thin strip. Okay, or you can do half and half like that. And you can take a gold strip of like paint, put it right down the middle. So you can do all kinds of stuff with the veneers. But that's the one that I did. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but at least I can make one pair of earrings like that, right? But anyways, that's our veneer. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. You could even wrap it up, like I said before, and make you can cover regular beads with it. Unfortunately, with that part, I think you guys have much more imagination than I do. I seem to make canes and stuff, but I never know what to do with them. Which is probably why I sell what I do. And probably why I make glass beads instead of jewelry with my beads. I just would rather give them to somebody that can really design. I'm great at putting things together, but not great at a final product. I like this little mark right there. I don't know what that is. While the oven's on, I will throw these in there. But that is my contribution for the day. It's kind of like riding a bike. You don't forget, but it does take you a little bit of time to get back into the swing of things. Even the Skinner blends, I had problems figuring out how to start them. Okay, why didn't that cut out? Does it matter? Not really, because I will sand these, but... yeah, I may have to cut them just one more time. Okay, that's a little better, I think. So I'm going to grab those and stick them into the oven. Okay. Or you can literally do the whole piece in that. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. I might want to decorate something. So I'm going to go throw these in the oven, but that's it. I will come back and show you when the other ones come out. I'm going to sand them, try and buff them, and we'll put those in a pair of earrings. So we'll see in a bit. Alright guys, I came back for a second. My other stuff aren't quite ready to come out of the oven yet. But I took all these little pieces here. And I'm cutting them into little squares. So I just kind of wanted to show you that. And I'm going to work on these off camera. And, you know, like we can take one like this. You can put them sideways like that. And it would be kind of like a checkerboard, wouldn't it? Is it gonna look good? That I don't know. But I'm just going to take all these like that, cut them all up, and just make a little pattern of a little checkerboard here. Hopefully you can see that. You know, it's either that or I do what I did before, and that was just basically cut them all up and throw them together. But honestly, I don't want to do that. I think this might be pretty cool. So we're going to try it. And then this that I did on the other project, this is one that I'm going to just cut up into little pieces and put it all together. So I'm going to do that, and then when the other ones come out of the oven, they're sanded and buffed, I'll show you what we come up with on this. So I'll see you in a bit. Alrighty guys, we are back. We are sanded and buffed the best that we could. I use an industrial style buffer, so holding on to these beads without it flipping out of my hands was a little tough. But we did it. I only lost one and I found it. So that's what the beads look like. So now, the one thing I say putting these on a mandrel, and I'm going to do that with this little chunk right here. And I'm going to show you why I think it's important. So this is going to be kind of a big bead, right? Okay, I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the first one, if I can find a blade, which I didn't put anything away. I've got a nice little mess right here. Oh, but I can't seem to find my blade. You know, it's always something. Rosanna, Dana, right? Rosanna, Dana. That ages me right there. I probably don't even need to do this, but I am. Okay. So we started with that, right? Now, if we were to put this on a stainless steel rod, and I'm using a 1/16 with a ugly bead on top, right? Then at least you've got your hole already in there. So when you get to that point, you might want to do that and put it on a mandrel. It's not like I make the best ends though when it's on this, but at least you can get the shape in there. Now if you rolled this, you'll get a beautiful little hole, but I'm not rolling this. Hey guys, I gotta go shut the door because the pool guy just showed up. And door's open. I'll be right back. I whispered so Jake wouldn't hear me. But he's laying in the bathroom because it's cool in there, I guess. I don't know. It's his new favorite spot. Okay, so you can always do that as long as you make your cuts perfect, which, because I have a bead on that end, is not coming out perfect. Okay, but you can always touch that up, sand it. That way you got your hole. On these, unfortunately, I don't have a hole. And now I'm really, really scared to put a hole in here because I don't know if I can go straight down. So you can use those little eye hooks or eye screws. But get yourself small ones. Let's see if I can find mine here. Because if you don't get the small ones, then the ring is really big on top. If I can find them, I will show you them. I literally have a whole container of them. Except for the fact that I need them now. Alright. So these are the hooks that I have. Now, you could use stainless steel, but it's just the hooks are so big. So that's kind of like a cap. Okay, so these are the small ones, which are better because they just don't look as bulky, I guess you can say, or cheap. Then you just got to figure out which ones are sets. Ooh, these two go together. These two go together. These two go together. And I'm missing one. And I know that I grabbed the one from the garage that I kind of dumped. I just got to find him. Wow, okay, well, that's not good. So, I guess I'll just work on what I've got. And I know a lot of people are using stainless steel. now. But the great thing about these, okay, now this isn't gonna fit that. This might fit better on this one, I don't know. We are going to try it. But if you don't have strong fingers, it doesn't help. And I wasn't planning on using this ball type. Although it doesn't, yeah, see, it's not quite the size I need. So I can't use this one. Ugh. That's what the bead did to me in the garage. It literally just shot out of my hands. Okay. Ah, yeah, it's gonna be one of these days, guys. Gosh darn it. I don't know if it's me or just sucky pliers. I mean, I'm gripping with all of my might here. Okay, so now you have these two, right? And you could either hang an earring hook just like that, or you can add a bead, which is probably what I'll do. But it would have been nice to just get a hole all the way down here. That way I could have wire wrapped the top and put a bead in. I don't know how sturdy these are. I don't know if they'll fall out. But these I'm going to try and screw, because they're short, so it should be a little bit easier to do it. So let's do that. You know what? I think I'm going to do that off camera, because I have a bead cleaner, a bead reamer in there instead of a drill, because I was cleaning beads before I did this. So I'm going to go find that half, and then that's it. I'll just throw a quick picture of the finished product. I don't know how I'm going to finish them off yet, but I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back with a picture. But that's basically what we did. And yes, I don't know where the other bead went, so I'm going to go find it. But that's our tutorial for today. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you for being so patient. Again, thank you guys for checking up on me. Everything's good. Hopefully it stays calm. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.